good Wednesday evening, folks. Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich here on Rumble Studios, as well as at Fireman Rich over there on X. We're broadcasting on X Live, Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. Four broadcasts, or four platforms there. And good evening to our Jersey girl, Tina. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Glad to have you here. And this is all about Let's Talk Football. For all intents and purposes, this could be our last broadcast because we go into the championships. After the championships, it's to the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl's in 2 weeks. We may have a broadcast for Let's Talk Football, but we're at the tail end, I'm afraid, just to be upfront as far as that goes. We either will come up that Wednesday before the Super Bowl, or else we might even go Sunday afternoon before the Super Bowl starts. We're going to keep that one open and stuff like that. But we do talk about football to a certain degree on the football segment when I broadcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for the morning coffee, just to give that a plug. That's every morning or Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 o'clock, thereabouts, even though I've been late the last this morning and Monday, right, Tina? This cold weather is just getting to me. We're at 15 degrees Fahrenheit right now, so it's chilly out, folks. It is chilly. Yeah, lots of laughs on the freaking cold weather, Tina. Just looking in the news, we had snow down there on the beaches of North Carolina. Of course, there was snow reported down there, and New Orleans. New Orleans is where the Super Bowl is going to be, there at the Superdome, I believe. And but it's indoors. They've got a cover on it. So who would have figured snow down in New Orleans? We just have cold weather. It was, I would say, bitter cold when you get down to the wind chill factor is not. It's 15, but it feels like it's 10 degrees colder than that, and it could be colder if we had the wind, thank God. And I don't want to get out of the bed either. Yeah, there we go. Keep tucked underneath those blankets there, where all the warmth is, as far as that goes. Even our cats, we have 5 cats. We used to have 6. I always like mentioning it because I don't want to leave Calvin out. I always think of Calvin. He's up there with Max, our dog. But the cats, they're just sleeping in different places now. Their whole sleeping. And I think that's what happened to me last night, being late this morning, to be honest with you. But with that put aside, we are coming up on a AFC, NFC championship games this Sunday. And it's all coming down to 4 teams left after running the gauntlet of 18 weeks for the regular season and then the playoffs. And we've had some good football. The last 2 games of the regular season was sort of, I don't know. That's only, though, if I could say there was a part I didn't really care for, it's probably especially the last week, because they took everybody out. I don't really care for that. It's almost like going backwards to preseason at the end of the season. And just to give you a heads up, Tina, we got a commercial break on Twitch in 4.5 minutes. So, but we're at this point, and I can remember back in the day, growing up, we'd already have the Super Bowl by this time. You know, it used to be right after the national championships, the bowl games on the 1st of January, and then it would be like that first Sunday, and then they changed it to the third Sunday. Now we're into February. So, but the actual Super Bowl itself, what do we have as far as a date here? I think I had it up here somewhere. Where the hell did I put that? They have on this chart to be determined. Well, let me bring this chart up first here. Turn this off. And so here's the bracket of the playoffs that have taken place thus far. And playoff bracket. I don't know how this is going to show up, but we'll see how it works out here. There we go. There's the playoff bracket. Thus far from the folks over at NFL. No affiliation with NFL. Just presenting this for general speaking. And you can see the roads. The 4 teams. You got Kansas City and Buffalo. You can see how they traveled. Kansas City had a bye the first week, and then they took on Houston, and now they have Buffalo coming into Kansas City there this Sunday. And we look at Buffalo. Buffalo started off by playing Denver, beating them substantially, and then Baltimore. That was the big worry game there. Baltimore is probably equal in capability to Kansas City, and they were able to take them. So it's a rematch of Kansas City and Buffalo. Buffalo's nemesis is Kansas City. And then over on the NFC side, you had Detroit that had the bye, and they were a sure win to go win the next 2 games to go into the Super Bowl. But they couldn't make it by their first game because Washington won. And we look at Washington. They ended up beating Tampa Bay, 6th seed beating a 3 seed. And then the 6th seed goes on to beat a number 1 seed to be in the NFC Championship game. Philly, of course, they started off by you would figure Green Bay and Philly were pretty evenly matched, but Philly had their way and won 22-10. And then you figure the Chargers, they were on a tear, and Philly was able to overcome the Chargers. So Philly in the National Conference Championship with Washington, both from the same division. Who would figure? Who would have figured that? As far as I think the one possibility I heard the talking heads were talking that they were looking at a possible Detroit Lions and Green Bay final or something like that, or even the L.A. Rams and L.A. Chargers. Oh no, that can't happen. The L.A. Chargers are in the American League. I'm sorry. But there's the playoff bracket. So we have the games coming this Sunday, and as far as that goes, and I forgot to turn my camera back on. Let me turn the camera back on. There we go. Too many buttons. There we go. We're playing with the buttons already. And let me see here. As far as the Super Bowl, when's this? The Super Bowl is February 9th, I think. Yeah, February 9th, the Super Bowl, as far as that goes. Super Bowl being played. I just want to make sure. I know it's New Orleans being played this year. It's the Sugar Bowl, New Orleans, as far as that goes. I just wanted to make sure. The Super Bowl is the annual championship game of the National Football League here in the United States. It has served as the final game of every NFL season since 1966, superseding the NFL championship game. Since 2022, the game has been played on the second Sunday of February. So you can see it's only been I forgot to turn this radio off. Turn this off. It's only been 3 years now that we've had that, and I think prior to that it was and some of the other Super Bowl. Let's see, Super Bowl locations in 2026. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, it's again, it's going to be in Caesars Superdome in New Orleans this year. Next year, it'll be played in Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, home of the San Francisco 49ers. And in 2027, SoFi Stadium out in California. What's this with California? 2 years in a row. Home of the Los Angeles Rams and Los Angeles Chargers. And then Super Bowl 62, I guess it is, or whatever, in 2028 at the Mercedes-Benz down in Atlanta, Georgia, is home of the Atlanta Falcons. That's down where Tony D's at. So that's where, as far as the Super Bowls. And So it should. I think any one of these four teams win their prospective conference. When we whittle it down to two, it's going to be a good Super Bowl. I think we have four top-notch teams as far as that goes. To where, well, let's see, we're in a break right now, so we're gonna wait for. We're waiting for Tina. Let's see, waiting, waiting on ads. On ads. We're waiting on the ads, and they're going to be finishing in about 20 seconds. So I hope everybody had a great day today on this Wednesday. It was pretty. I actually took a short nap this morning or this afternoon for about an hour and a half. And so, which I don't normally take. It was chilly, though. It was chilly. And let's see. Oh, that was a private thing. We're waiting on ads. Waiting on ads. We're waiting on. I send that to the private. I didn't send that to Twitch. This is what I just sent. Are you back, Tina? Let's see. Let's see. Will that go? Yeah, there it goes. Okay, you're back. Okay. All right. So we're back here on Twitch, and let's see. I've got everybody's picks except yours, Tina. Do you have your picks of who you're going to choose from? You either have, let's see, you got the Commanders and the Eagles. I think you're going to take the Eagles. And for the people that are watching and people watching on the replay, we have, since the first week, we've had 6 people, no, 2, 4, 6, 7 people. We had 8, but 1 dropped out after 4 weeks. And we do our picks, wins and losses and stuff like that. And you to go back on the previous episodes to see, I think Michael Bathurst is the one that beat out Tony. I came in 3rd, I think. No, Ted Hicks came in 3rd. I came in 4th, tied with CBS, or CBS came ahead of me. But we're in the playoffs now, and we're doing the picks. Let's see. Tina says Philly. She's going to go with Philly. And as far as Kansas City or Buffalo for the late game, 6:30, I think it is. I think the first game is Sunday. The first game is Commanders going into the Philadelphia to play the Eagles at 3:00, and then the second game is going to be. I thought I had that up here. Let me bring this chart. And who are you going to pick for the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, Tina? Before I bring this chart up, I just want your picks. And you're going with Kansas City. Oh, okay. So that makes it very interesting. Very interesting. And you'll see when I bring up the charts, okay? So we'll have full disclosure. We've got all the picks in. Tina was the last one. And this should be interesting to talk about here as far as, let me bring this up here, turn that off, go to present. We'll bring up the whiteboard. And so the AFC Championship, we got the game Commanders and the Eagles at the Eagles and Bills at the Chiefs. And here it is. These are the picks. And that's how we line up with the picks with Tina. We have Michael, Tony, and Tina all picking Philadelphia and Kansas City. Myself, Ted Hicks, Brian, and CBS are picking, going with the upset with Washington. And I say Buffalo is going to win against Kansas City. They beat the Baltimore Ravens last week. And full disclosure, I am a Baltimore Raven or Buffalo Bills fan. That was a big game. Some people say they were spent. If you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, you're not rooting for the other team. Hint, hint, Michael Bathurst. I question him now. Is he truly a Buffalo Bills fan? He's picking Kansas City. So I'm friendly, in a friendly way, I am calling him out because he said he loves Buffalo. He's up there in Toronto, but he's going He wants to see a three-peat. And I don't think the three-peat's going to happen because I think Buffalo is in a position to beat and win against Kansas City. Washington, I think they're capable if they play like they did last week to go against the Eagles. I think the Eagles beat the Commanders. I don't know. Let me check that. Let's see what that's a good. How did the Eagles and during the regular season playoff? Let me check that real quick here, folks. Let's see. Washington. They had to have played the Eagles twice. They lost the first time, but they won the second time. Okay? So they're evenly split. They're evenly split. Now, the big thing about the Philadelphia Eagles, they've got Barkley. I love Barkley, okay? But I think Washington is on a roll that if they do win it to the Super Bowl and play the Bills, they could possibly beat the Bills as far as that goes. And but I think whoever wins between Buffalo and Kansas City, I'll have to be in agreement with Michael Bathurst that I heard him say on his broadcast, watching on the replay. He said that that'll be the end up winner of the Super Bowl. It'll probably be the AFC. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. So let's see. So that's how we line up. What do you think, Tina? We got it's pretty evenly matched. It's sort of leaning. I'm really surprised with CBS. I thought CBS was going to go. They picked Washington, Buffalo. I thought for sure they picked at least Philly and Buffalo, but they went with Washington, or even Washington and Kansas City, because I think Kansas City is favored just slightly, even because they're home. And then I think Philly is favored over the Washington Commanders. So there's where we stand as far as that goes. And we'll see what happens. It should be a good. We got some great football. 2 games on Sunday there. So again, let's see the times as far as the games go. The Commanders-Eagles game is 3:00, and then the Bills-Chiefs game is on 6:30 a.m. or 6:30 p.m. Eastern time as far as that goes. And Tina says, last week I wasn't going to pick Detroit. I had a feeling. Yeah, you did have a feeling. Yes, you did. You did have a feeling there, Tina, as far as last week, because last week, let me bring up last week's results. Yeah. Oh, you did pick Detroit, didn't you? Last week I wasn't going to pick, but I had a feeling. Oh, okay. But you picked them, but you still had that feeling, so you didn't change your team, because I think we all picked Detroit last week, except Brian. Brian went with Washington. We all picked Detroit. I'm looking at it right here, right now, as far as that goes for last week's AFC, NFC. Let me bring that up just as to show you what I'm talking about. Let's see. There we go. That was last week. That was the divisional round as far as that goes. And you can see we all picked Detroit. And I think for the most part, we all picked Kansas City, but Brian picked Houston. He lost there, but he won against Washington. So, and we all pretty much came up the same as far as that goes. So it's going to be interesting as far as for the AFC bit there as far as that goes. I have the feeling about Kansas City. What's your feeling? They're going to win? You think they're going to win? We'll see. We'll see, because the weather is not going to affect Buffalo, because Buffalo can play in that type of weather. I think they even play better in that type of weather. Okay, you think Kansas City is going to win? I think Buffalo has the tools to go to the Super Bowl this time, and we'll see. I'm just a little perplexed, I guess, as far as our good friend Michael Bathurst, calling him out again. Sorry, Michael. Being a Kansas, he says he's a fan of the Kansas City or the Buffalo Bills, but he's picking Kansas City. But that's his prerogative. He can do that. It's just we'll see what happens, and we'll see what. Like I said, the results. I will probably, we'll know what the results are because we'll be. If I have a show for Let's Talk Football on Sunday, I know. I think Tony D is broadcasting this weekend on Sunday at 10:30, and he will be broadcasting probably Super Bowl Sunday, I think, too. I think he gives the indication that he will be broadcasting as far as that goes. Now, as far as the games, Washington and Commanders. The Commanders are the surprise team left in the Final Four. They got there by upsetting the top seed Lions on the road last week, and in that game, the rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels was a good quarterback in that game, outstanding, and he should be getting Rookie of the Year. I feel so. There's another thing I'm in agreement with Michael Bathurst. He lit up the Lions defense. But this is a much bigger challenge coming up this Sunday. The Eagles, who beat the Rams last week, came on strong down the stretch on the defense as the acclaimed to the Vic Van Gogh system, which will challenge Daniels. The Eagles play a lot of zone, which might be a good thing since Daniels carves up man coverage against the blitz. He will be forced to be patient, which will put more pressure on his offensive line. So it all depends on how Washington's offensive line can hold back Philly. They have to block defensive tackle Jalen Carter, who is a game wrecker for Philly. The Philly offense will once again be key by running back Saquon Barkley. He ran for 2,000 yards this season. My hat's off to him. What a freaking athlete! He could never get in that. He wouldn't even come close to that if he was still on the Giants. And he's rolling up big numbers in the playoffs. The two games against the the 2 games against the Commanders this season, Barkley had 296 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in those games. So that's huge. Barkley is sort of like Henry there for Baltimore. They couldn't stop him in the regular season. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts is banged up with a knee injury suffered last week in the victory over the Rams, which could have an impact on his ability to pull it out on the zone reads. This could change how the Washington defends Barkley. And hey, Big Juice, I see you're at the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, I'm not at the Sugar Bowl. And Tina's saying hi to Steve. Steve's he's acting funny there in the chat. Glad to have you here, Steve, our good friend from Ohio. Big Juice. This game though between Washington and Philly will be about Daniels and how he can he's got to carry the team and his ability to make plays against the Fango defense, which Cliff Kingsbury call plays will be fun to watch. Daniels probably should play well, is expected to play well. So well, in fact, Commanders, they could pull an upset possibly if he plays well. He has to play well. That's just like any winning game. You have to play well to win. Daniels will become the first rookie quarterback to take the team to the Super Bowl if he does win. So that's a big thing for him. That is a very big thing. Okay, as far as the second game, Buffalo Bills and Kansas City at Sunday at 6:30, that'll be streamed on CBS. The first game, Commanders, that's on Fox, and the second game's on CBS. And what can you say? This game is about Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen for the most part. The two quarterbacks have faced off 3 times previously in the playoff, and Mahomes has won all 3. That's not good for. That's why I think the Bills are hungry to win it this time. But their stats are close, with Mahomes having 8 touchdowns and no picks to Allen's 7 and 1 pick. The Chiefs beat the Bills earlier this season, but it's those playoff failures that hang over the game for the Bills. They spent the week hearing about the 13-second and Ty Bass miss game-tying field goal in last year's loss, and they want to get past that. So they got to win. Remember how they lost to Kansas City? They could have won, but it didn't happen. This team seems different than in past years. The Buffalo Bills. It is built for playoffs, and I think they've shown that. Don't turn it. They didn't turn it over, and Allen is playing the best football ever. Even if the numbers aren't as gaudy. Mahomes also didn't put up big numbers this year, and you got to remember, I'm looking at this year, and I've said this before on Tony D's Bell Kings Fantasy Football. The Kansas City Chiefs. You look at all the games they've won. They've had a couple lucky ones, okay? And you could say last week the Bills had a lucky one, but a win is a win. But they've all been one-score games for the Kansas City Chiefs. So they're beatable. But Mahomes comes on late as the offense has gotten healthier. So that's a big plus for the Bills, or a big plus for the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's also it's the playoffs. So we know that Mahomes will get the ball to Travis Kelce, and that's what they got to do. That's the person they got to contain, Travis Kelce. He comes up with those clutch catches, and who was outstanding last week in the Kansas City Chiefs win. But that has to be the focal point for the Bills' defense. Both teams want to run the ball. I think the Bills can run it, but their pass defense is a little could be an issue for them, which will be the key to this one. Even in paper, it looks like a classic Mahomes-Allen battle. Allen is better on the two with his legs, which gives Bills a bit of an advantage because he's mobile. He can run. He ran in for 2 touchdowns last week, but Mahomes can move when he needs to. But he is a little bit gimpy there. The Chiefs have a major edge playing at home. I don't think it's a major edge. I don't think it matters between these two teams. Bills are going to be playing the same way, no matter where they're at. They're that caliber of a team, I feel. And they also have the playoff psychology edge as well. That's one thing they do have. They've beaten the Bills 3 times. So the Bills that's got to be lingering in the Bills' heads. That usually matters, but like what's been said, this Bills team is different. Allen is different this year compared to all the knock on wood. He doesn't have the turnovers like he's had in the past. I think it's Josh Allen's times. The Bills won't have to hear about that 13 seconds from last year anymore. I think people have already forgot it, but I know the Bills have it. As Allen gets the Buffalo Bills ready to go to the Super Bowl, and even though they're not really favored, we'll see what happens. And that's where we stand. Now let's see. Big Juice said hi to Tina, and let's see. We got a total of 3 people. Big crowd tonight. Big crowd. We got 3 people. What do I say? If I have 2 or 3 people, it's a success. We have a successful broadcast. Those people that are watching on the replay, we'll probably get more replays, if anything, because numbers are numbers. But I appreciate the replay numbers, and also for the folks that are here as far as that goes. So we're over 30 minutes. I don't see our good friends Tony and Michael Bathurst, so I don't think they'll be coming up as far as that goes. So we're going to be I don't really have anything else other than just talk about make our picks. I showed the picks. We got Tina's picks. We got everybody else's picks, and then we talked a little bit about the teams that will be playing as far as Washington going into Philly, and then Buffalo Bills going into Kansas City. So that's where we have it. So let's see. NFL. So, and I don't really see any outstanding news and concerning any one of the teams here as far as going into the playoffs. So, with that, I think that should be about it. Let me just check CBS Sports here real quick for NFL news. Do we have any last-minute NFL news here going in? Let's see. We got Presco's picks. No, that's about it as far as that goes. So we're going to go ahead and exit stage right here as we're coming up on 35 minutes. And I want to say thank you to Tina. And yeah, short and sweet, Tina. That's what I said this morning. You know, we're down to 4 teams. You can't really say much. I'm not going to go on with a whole bunch of stats and stuff like that. So short and sweet. And I do appreciate you being here, Tina. Thank you also. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Big Juice, for being here as well. For those folks that are watching, thank you also. Let me check X. What do we have on X? 2 people over on X. Thank you. We have 2 people on X. So that's a total of 5 people, 5 individuals watching, because X numbers don't come into the Rumble Studio client here. So we got 2 over there. We got 1 on Rumble. When we got 2 on Twitch. I'm only on Rumble, YouTube, and Twitch and X. So we're on 4 platforms tonight. So with that, I think that's about it. So you all have a great one. Have a great Wednesday evening. Just a reminder, I'm doing the audio podcast tomorrow. They'll be posted up immediately afterwards. If you're up, Tina, I'll probably be broadcasting on. When I do that, I'll be over on like I did this yesterday. I'll be on TikTok, and I know you're following. I only have like 23 people, folks. So I'm just letting Tina know. Just so if you're up tomorrow, you might want to check your TikTok, because I may be broadcasting on the TikTok. I did it Tuesday. So I did, and that did get posted up. I'm trying to get familiar with TikTok just in case it becomes legal. So and it's only about 45 minutes that I do the audio podcast, Tina. So just to give you a heads up there. But we will be back Wednesday morning or Friday morning for the Friday morning coffee to end the week and to get ready to go into the weekend, because that's what we're doing. We're working towards the weekend, as I like to call it, during the week, as far as that goes. So, all right, folks, I'm Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich over there on X, where I post for the most part. And if you see my posts, you know I'm about on this thing called the internet. And again, thank you, Tina, our Jersey girl, for being here. And thank you, Steve, Big Juice, coming in from Ohio. So with that, you all have a great evening. Live life. Have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. And where's our outro music? Here we go.